I don't know, I'm hearing full circle moment. And I'm hearing, won't you fall for me from reality? I am yours in the end. Won't you fall for me? Well, I'm guessing it's a love reading, which, honestly, I'm glad because the readings I've had to do lately have been very topsy-turvy, very not fun. Oh, the sun, clarity, truth, enlightenment, right? That's enlightenment. Beautiful. Light bulbs going off. Everything's blooming. Oh, the Tower reversed, Hangman reversed. All right. People changing situations, people changing course, their environment, their structure, their rebuilding, metamorphosis, transformations. Decisions, making lots of decisions to avoid towers. I anticipate little birdies are talking to people, and there's a lot of people moving. Oh, and the moon right on top of the Hanged Man. So we've already got the moon and the sun out. Tower reverse, Hangman reverse. Oh. All right, we've got the Nine of Swords and the Hierophant reverse. All right, overthinking. But the Hierophant is bringing some truth and clarity to light about what seems like greediness, what seems like a plan, information from spirit, a different perspective, a new way of thinking. Magician. King of Cups reversed, right? A little bit of emotional turmoil over this. But the heart knows. The heart always knows, right? You're in power drive. You're in overdrive. Your heart has been taking a beating. Bulldogs are significant. We're like filtering out the negative. We're filtering out the dark, the shadow, those feelings that we don't always like to talk about, right? Cries of the soul. We haven't used this deck in a while, but this is that trauma deck. What does the collective need to start focusing on to help them for the greatest and highest good? Well, for one, the all-seeing eye. Card 17. My lucky number. All-seeing eye, right? Inside that pyramid. Narcissistic faults. I soothe my inner pain. It needs to go from the opposite of whatever is taking place, right? If you're soothing the pain, the suffering, the traumas, the experiences, the doubt, the embarrassment, the shame, all of those feelings, right? Where we kind of beat ourselves up over them because we believe that those feelings and the things that we've done and said make us unworthy or bad or, whatever we want to classify ourselves when we're beating ourselves up because we are our own worst critic. But we need to change the dialogue, right? The voice inside of our head needs to be soothing. We are capable, we are worthy. We always were from before we ever got here, right? All of us. And you have to change the narrative. This is about rewiring your brain, and it's very hard to do, right? We think about this in psychology when they teach you about the rubber band trick, which is, some addicts or like smokers, if they want to quit smoking, they will put a rubber band, or you want to quit cussing, right? If I say fuck too much and I want to quit cussing, put a rubber band around my wrist, and all day, every day, when those thoughts emerge, right? When those things happen, when I want that cigarette, when I say the word fuck, snap. And it's, you're teaching yourself, well, for one, you're associating pain with something bad and you're punishing yourself for it. That's what it is. That rubber band trick, to its root, the thought behind it, the intention is to punish yourself for something that you're trying to avoid and something that you deem as unhealthy, unworthy, or that makes you unworthy. Something that controls us, right? That devilish energy that controls us, and now you're punishing yourself for it. How about we go a little softer, right? Let's soothe our freaking inner pain in a different way that's not narcissistic. Says the cries of the soul. I just work here. Yeah, all right. Negative free will. My free will helps me create my well-being, right? Again, we are our worst critic. We also are the ones that will hold ourselves back the most in life simply because we convince ourselves we're just we're not capable, or we listen to those outer voices instead that, make that ego even larger and harder to conquer. We listen to those little voices, humiliation, right? Their opinions of us, what they say about us. And sometimes we believe it, especially if we're suffering and we're already traumatized and we haven't broke free from that or learned to heal from it. Like I remember, I had a narcissistic mother who raised me and wanted nothing to do with me for the most part. But anyway, she liked to, to just put salt in the wound after she turned stabbed you and then like turned the blade a little bit. I remember on like my 19th birthday, I got a text ever and spoken to the woman, and since the last time I think was when she took me to court, trying to get a restraining order against me when I was like 18. But anywho, she texted me on my 19th birthday just to tell me that I was a waste of space. I just wanted to let you know that you're a waste of space. Thank you. Next, right? Like, well, when I was 19, I was young, right? And I had so much trauma built up, and I had so much healing to do, and I had so much confidence I had to get back because I had no power, no voice, and I didn't know who I was and what I was capable of. I convinced myself that I couldn't break free from that mold, right? Had to pull the daggers out, stitch up the wounds, put a little Robitussin on that shit. Like the old saying goes, put some Robitussin on it. It's actually terrible. Break that chain too, right? We don't put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. Prophetic past. I ground myself in the here and the now, right? Cries of the Soul says like, and I do this so often. Card 33. We spend too much time in our heads sometimes, and we don't actually live in the present. We don't enjoy the moment for what it is. We don't actually smell the grass. We take pictures of it. And, there's nothing wrong with taking pictures of beautiful scenery. I can't help but want to capture the moment, but I do it quickly and then I put it away, which I don't care what anyone does, really. But for me personally, it's like I want to capture it. Don't let it slip. Lose yourself. And I don't know, Eminem just popped into my head. Mom's spaghetti. I love Eminem. It's my tism. No, it's my brain thinking about 7,000 things at once, and it's going off it. It's the computer trying to have too many tabs open and looking at all of them and going, shoot, our mouse is supposed to be clicking on this area, right? We're just computers. Anywho, I spend way too much time drifting off onto other things and not just sitting and enjoying what I'm currently doing, seeing, smelling, living, all the senses, right, of the physical world that I begged to come experience. So sometimes I have to remind myself of that too. All right, Shaman's Oracle. Also, unilomes are important. Yeah, enlightenment. Love this card. Look at those pretty colors. All right, intuitive power. Listen, if your body is telling you something, listen to it. That is your intuition. That is the little spirit, the whispers in the wind, right, from the higher powers. And, when they say, like, Ren said, I'm the voice you hear when you loosen the noose around your own neck, right? When you're in your darkest days, that little spirit of hope that just pops in there right in the nick of time, that spirit, right? Saved by the bell. Oneness. Infinity, right? Also, that looks like a womb up here. That looks like the entrance to one, which, interesting. That's the portal to the divine. So why don't we treat our women better? Well, that's probably why they're scared. Right, passion. So passion's there. Shaman's death, right? We gotta at least open our hearts and our minds to the possibility that we're telling you to protect your energy for a reason. We're telling you to open your mind for a reason. We're telling you alcohol and spirits and liquor are bad for a reason. We're telling you these things because what they don't teach you about spirituality is the things that benefit them. The reason they don't teach it to you is because if you really, really don't know what's going on in the dark and in the spiritual realm, you can't actually protect yourself from it or your children. So yeah, when they're like, Mom, I swear there's a monster in my closet, and every kid in America has had the same experience, and you start going, seems odd, doesn't it? Let's get to part 2. We got carried away again. And actually, I'm really not apologizing for it. Whatever needs to come out has to come out.